is, wait, hang on. It's like 10:10. I can't see it on my phone when I'm going live, but I have been kind of resting all evening and watching this big, massive ick coming my way, and built a fire a little while ago, had the house kind of, I thought, cozy. I thought I'm ahead of the cold. And in about 5 minutes, it sounded like tornado season. Sounded like a freight train descended upon my home. One of my flags, I forgot about my flags outside, when my health is not the best. Hey, Priscilla, when my health is not the best, I don't always think about all the things I need to do before we have one of these storms. If you can hear my house shuddering behind me, I have a garden flag that was on the porch that it's probably in the next county by now. I heard it take off. I heard the wooden flag pole like pating, pating, pating through the yard. I don't know where it is now. I had a good fire in my wood stove. I have a triple lined pipe, and I have a thing on the top, and the storm came in so quickly and so harshly that it almost put my fire out in my wood stove. And I was like, I knew it was coming. Like, it was 43 and it's supposed to be -3 by the morning. And so I knew it was coming, but I thought I'm ahead of the game. I've got a good solid fire burning. I've got a good coal base. Can you hear that behind me? That is my house front porch tin roof and stuff shuddering on my front porch and the roof doing this. And I'm in a part of the house that is double roofed. So I'm not in the addition that's just single roofed. I'm in the part of the house that's double roofed. It's got the old roof plus our new tin roof over it. And it is just wild outside right now. And it looks like the snow line is just about here. It's moving in right now. Oh, good grief, did she? Well, it's not fit for man nor beast out right now. And I'm glad now I kind of canceled Christmas, and my daughter was kind of like, okay, I'll get a hotel to come up and see everybody to not bother you. And then I felt bad, and I was like, no, if you're wanting to come up and see everybody, you can stay here. Just, I'm not taking care of anyone. I'm not making, you can still see the bags. I'm still not in the best of health. And I thought, but you can stay here, but you cook your own meals and you clean up after yourself, and your mama's in bed and sleeping and resting and not doing well. And she was like, okay, well, I'll think about it. Well, then they started talking about this weather, and she was like, nope, I'm not driving. And then, of course, her fiance was like, oh, it'll be fine, because, he's a Southern Georgia boy. He's never witnessed the ferocity of a storm that hits the top of the plateau and just whips us, because we have no windbreak, we have no protection. And she was like, oh, no, we won't. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll be fine. And she finally explained to him and showed him all the weather warnings, that it was going to drop over 50 degrees here today. The wind chill tomorrow is -25. By the time David comes home tonight, it will be probably -3. So he had to take coveralls, gloves, ski mask, everything with him to work. Thank God that his job is not, a super far, long ways away. But it's still terrifying, and tomorrow they'll probably shut the whole factory down, because some of the people that drive, if you get stuck out in this tomorrow, they're saying, in 25, 30 minutes, you could have frostbite and severe damage to your skin. So we anticipate that the factory will probably close tomorrow, and or allow the only people that want to come in to come in. And of course, if they do that, David, is as close as we are, will probably jump over, but it still terrifies me. Thank goodness he's got coveralls and bibs and layers and layers and layers. And, but I've got my wood stove just trying to stay wide open right now, because the wind is so bad. If I just try to let it burn steady, the wind, when it gusts, will put it out. And so I've got a fire just rolling. Well, you stay warm, because if it's not hit you yet, I've got it, the radar behind my phone, and I've got it blowed up to where I can see my area really close. I can't see up above. Be careful, because when this hit, the wind hit so hard, it was like a spring tornadic storm, boom, hitting us. It was that hard. And if I keep looking, it's because I'm watching my fire. Because when the wind can come down the pipe and lick a fire, you have to really be careful and watch one. So I'm watching my fire really close. I don't know if you all hear my house. My patio furniture, my front porch, my flags, my windows jarring. It's a testament to how good my windows are sealed because my curtains are not really moving a whole lot. But if that wind picks up much, it might. I've got a quilt over here over the door to stop any air draft because it doesn't have the best weather seal. I've got huge blankets up over windows. It's horrible. It's going to be -3 here in the morning, and then it's supposed to get worse as the day progresses. I think they said we might get up to 6 tomorrow, but they don't see that happening with the wind. They said the wind chill will be between -15 and -25 on the plateau tomorrow. So I don't think man nor beast will be moving tomorrow. David went and pulled every snare and everything and just laid it so nothing would get caught, because even though what he catches, he does dispatch, he doesn't want any animal caught in a snare out in this to be miserable before he dispatches it. That's just inhumane. So he pulled everything today and was like, I'm not, because most of his traps are no kill. He dispatches the animal, and that's a safety for him in case, and he's got dog blocks. So if a dog gets their foot in, they just kind of sit there and wait, and it won't hurt them. And that's the same way a coyote sits. But he's got certain mechanisms that certain dog paws domesticated dogs are built kind of different. So he's got dog locks so that a domesticated dog can normally pull out and leave, and a coyote is stuck. But whatever is in his snares, just wait for him to come check him. And he was like, I'm not putting any animal in this. He's like, I'm not holding any animal out. And he pulled everything. There's a rule that you've got when you use certain traps. You have to check them every 24 hours and dispatch the animal humanely. And he's like, I'm not even going to have anything waiting on me, even though he's got traps like minutes from the house. He's like, I'm not having anything wait on me and be out in this and be, he's that suffering I don't wish on anything. So he pulled all his traps today. He pulled everything. So I anticipate him hopefully just staying home and warm and keeping the fire tomorrow. It will be so cold that even with his wood stove in the first shed, he won't be able to work. My house is jarring, y'all. It just moved a chair on my front porch. I mean, I've been in bad winter storms. I've been in a blizzard that left us, 6 to 10 foot of snow. We had snow drifts. I had a St. Bernard that got lost. He jumped in a snow drift and got lost. It was that deep. But this is just amazing. I've got to go and hold my stove down just a minute, turn it down. So keeping a wood fire, I just kind of fell on the couch. Keeping a wood fire with a big storm like this going is, it takes somebody that can read the stove real well. And you have to know how much. Our stove is one of those newer models that we don't have a damper. We control the airflow at the bottom. And I grew up with stoves, inserts that had dampers and big fireplaces, but ours it's a Patriot model, and it's got a 3-wall pipe, and it's got all the mechanisms that holds the warmth, and it reburns the gases, and it's really super efficient. But when you have storms like this go through, you have to read your airflow at the bottom really careful, because you're getting airflow from the top as well, and you have to be super careful about how much airflow your fire's getting. And while I was afraid it was going to blow my fire out a few minutes ago, I had to allow it more airflow at the bottom to keep it alive. Now that the wind is not going straight down my pipe like it was, I've had to give it more airflow at the bottom, or take away the airflow and let it burn a little bit more consistent, because it's not battling being put out from above anymore. But it's just, I mean, there's stuff just walking across my front porch because the wind's so bad. So the snow line is here. I'm glad you're in Alabama too. The snow line is here. It's changing, and we had ice 30 minutes ago because it was ping, 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 ping off of the windows and their tin roof. And so do y'all hear that? My dog is freaking out. Oh, Script, okay, come here, come see mommy. Come on, come see mommy. Yeah, you're okay. It's okay. He's terrified. It's okay. Because there's so much stuff moving outside and he's not used to hearing stuff move. And I didn't think my patio furniture would move because it's like the iron chairs with the cushions. So you don't think that those things will move. Oh God, and I folded my cushions down. I just hope that they've not taken flight. I'll never find them. Hopefully they get caught in the fence. But it's this weird storm. This is our weather woman. I made a joke the other day to David. I said, if Jim Cantore shows up, I'm moving. And I'm here to tell you, Lord, no, I don't even think we probably don't even have any popo on patrol. They've probably given everybody the leave to go home because it's not fit for man or beast out there. We have no windbreak, and so the plateau sits like this, and all the wind comes and just smacks it. And we have no windbreak, and it just skirts across us, and it hits us so hard it like creates suction. And the wind is the worst part of anything living here. The wind is because we have no windbreak. We are the top crag of the mountain, and everything just hits us. It's pathetic. You have a metal roof and several old. Oh gosh, you be careful. Get somebody out to trim them trees. But no, I thought I'd come on today. Last night, yesterday was a stressful day for my whole family, and you could tell by the live I did, I was still kind of stressed out. And everybody was like, how's Dave doing? How's Dave doing? And Dave had, he's been taking care of me and doing predominantly well, but last night the stress did get to him. He woke up at about 2 o'clock. He hadn't been asleep long because he got home from work late. He hadn't been asleep long. He woke up at 2 o'clock hurting in his chest. And it freaked me out. And so he was getting up and he was moving around. It wasn't getting worse as he got up and moved around, but it still was enough to concern me. And so I ended up calling the ambulance because we have no hospital. We have nothing here. The nearest hospital is an hour and a half away. And if something was going wrong and he was having a heart attack and needed to be life flighted out, you call immediately. You don't wait. So I was afraid he was having a heart attack. And we had to call the ambulance team out, and they checked on him. And they said either what it was where he was stressed. He's been so stressed that his Lyme and Rocky Mountain spotted fever has presented again, and it was causing his joints to swell and flare and hurt, or it was pleuritic pain from this weather coming in, which is weather coming in has been hard on me. If you can see my eyes and stuff, it's been a really rough day for me with this weather coming in. But at 2 a.m., we had the ambulance squad here. Hang on. I got to go back and tend my fire again. Now it's wanting to be a booger. I may just move this into there in just a minute. Let me make sure it's still burning. Hang on, I'll be right back. Had to put me another stick on. He burnt that one out. He burnt that one out that quick. But we had the ambulance here at 2 a.m. And hi, Gypsy. And so David got checked out, and they ended up saying, okay, well, we think you're just really swollen, like you've been so stressed. And he had to tell them what all been going on. And they said, you're so stressed. They just, it's finally caught up with you, and either your Lyme disease is presenting, and your Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and your joints are really bad, and they're hurting, and that's causing that pain, or it's pleuritic pain from the weather coming in. We don't think it's heart attack. So we had to keep a close eye on him. I stayed awake. I'm not listening to him breathe because I was paranoid as crap. And he got this morning and said he felt fine. He said whatever it was must have been a fluke. He said, I don't feel bad. His blood pressure is held good. And he went on to work because the man doesn't not know how, I mean, he can't sit still. The man can't sit still. So he went on to work. And so we've just kind of vowed that this weekend, is just quiet time. And we're just, we went today and he took me to the store and I hadn't been out and unless to go to the doctor. And I said, I'm just going to run in really quick and get some stuff that if I have to cook, I can cook on the wood stove. If the electricity goes out, and we can just kind of redneck style eat for a few days. And I said, because with this wind, I really anticipate the electricity going out. So it seems to have laid a little bit now. And if it turns to snow and the major line gets through, we might be okay as long as we don't have a lot of ice. Ice and our power lines don't go well here. We have a really bad history. If you want to look up some storms, look up, I think it's the 92 blizzard. We had 5 or 6 years ago, we had an ice storm that shut us down for almost a week. We had people die and families sitting at home starving because they hadn't prepared. We've got veggies in the warm house. The cats have a place to get in the roof of the warm house. They have a cubby hole where they can get up there in that insulation, and it's their little private cat house that's blocked off. They sleep up there, and it stays a constant temperature. So that's why they're fat, sassy, and warm. And that warm house stays warm enough to where our jars won't break. It's why it's a warm house. It stays a constant temperature, and it is insulated that well. So my cats are good, and I don't have any other animal except for Oscar. And these were the days when Moses, the blue heeler, who preferred to be outside, would even come live inside. But we don't have any dog but Oscar right now. I'm watching my fire close. So we've already gotten ice, and the snow line seems to be right on us. So they're saying a couple of inches possibly for us. I never know what, normally they'll say, oh, you're going to get 6 to 8 inches, and they won't even do a dusting, or they'll say, you're not going to get anything, and then we'll get like a foot. So we never know what we're going to wake up to. They never really get it right here, so we don't know. But I just kind of wanted to document there for a minute how bad the wind was, because I have a flag that flew off my front porch, wooden flagpole and all, and I don't know where it went. I'll have to find it tomorrow. So, and my front porch has been rearranged, and we all heard that a minute ago. So it seems to have quietened down, and my wood stove, my fire is not being affected as much by the winds. I ain't found me any Whorehound candy in a long time, Gypsy. Oh my gosh, private joke, sorry. That's my purse. It's been a day. But last night was a rough night. I didn't sleep a lot per the bags under my eyes and the way I look. And I'm still dealing with a lot because of the weather and the storm. But I did make it to, get a couple of cans of soup and a couple of things that I could cook. I can do really thin cornbread when my stove gets hot enough and stuff like that. So, it's enough to get through. Oh, Lord. Now the wind's feeding down my pipe again. I swear. I think I may just sections up to where I can talk tens in front of the fire. My gosh, that wind. Y'all hear my house just vibrating. Maybe it's can't be as bad. Yeah, it got down to -19 once here, and the kids would go into the mudroom and write their names in the ice on the door and then run back in and try to get warm. That was the year that we brought our miniature donkey into the mudroom to stay warm. Hey, listen, when you live in the sticks and you got a tiny donkey that's smaller than a Great Dane, and he's got blankets and heat lamps and a great barn, but he was still cold, you just put him in the mudroom. Great little, he was a great little donkey. He was literally trained so well. He pulled a cart. He was the donkey that carried Mary in the church play for like a decade, and then was in the petting zoo afterwards for the kids. He was famous in our area. I don't know how much I don't know how much it's going down here, but it's cold. I can definitely tell cold. And it's dropped in the last hour, has been the most substantial drop in the temperature. So I've just been trying, and I thought I got ahead of all this and thought when it does start sinking, I'll have the house so warm that it won't be such a big transition. I don't know. It's a big transition. And I always keep tons of candles. and extra lighters and you know, those big. Did y'all hear that? I don't know what that was. You know, so we kind of stay prepped for a winter storm. Did y'all hear that? Oh no, the way the wind catches, it blows diagonal. So I've got a roof that's right behind me, over me. So nothing's going to come through the window on me. But it's hitting, I can hear it hitting the roof and stuff. So I'm good. I don't, you know, and David, we don't have any trees close enough to the house because my husband cuts trees. But my patio furniture is walking across my front porch. It's horrible, yeah. Just the wind is horrible here. It almost put my fire out. My fire had been burning for a long time, and I thought, oh my gosh, -10. We're looking at -3 by morning, and then the wind chill is supposed to be -25 here tomorrow. And they're telling everybody don't go out. I've gone through and pulled all my old quilts out, hung them up over doors, over windows, anything that I think might just help keep it a little more insulated and knock a little bit of the chill. You know, and I've got a quilt over the door behind me that you can see that green thing over there hanging up behind me. I've got a quilt over the door because that is the worst, because I don't care what weather stripping, the door catches a lot of the wind and you just can't stop it sometimes. And so I've got a quilt over that. I've got a quilt over my kitchen windows that do catch the brunt of the wind. And I've got a big quilt over my bedroom window, and that's just to help insulate and hold in. Man, it's bad. And just hold in the heat a little better. My goodness. But I was amazed at how hard this hit. The wind that was with this winter storm, it felt like a spring tornadic line had hit. So it's been a very interesting. Oh, that fire is just right there. I'm just, 20 foot from the fire. I'm just up here in the living room where it's double roofed so that y'all can hear me, because if I was down there with the ice and the wind under the 110 roof, y'all wouldn't be able to hear me. So I'm just 20 foot from the fire. I'm plenty warm. But if the electricity goes out, then what we'll do is shut off and just live in the lower half of the house with the wood stove. That's what we do if the electricity goes off. We just shut off and shut all the doors and live in the lower part of the house. Starting to rain, we'll just wait for the wind. You better put yourself somewhere in a windbreak right now because it's going to get bad. It started raining here and I thought, oh, it's here. And then boom, it was here. Y'all hear that? I hope y'all can hear that. It's pathetic. But I do have a good fire going, so if electricity goes out, we will be warm. We will stay warm. We will be fed. We will have water. We're fine. Everybody leave your faucets dripping tonight. You better leave your faucets running. You don't have frozen pipes. Oh my God, it's going to be hard to not have frozen pipes. And but be prepared if you're in the line of this storm. The wind is just horrible. The ice that hits with the wind is horrible. And the wind is going to last for about 30, 45 minutes, and then it's going to kind of stay at a sustained 25, 30 miles an hour for about an hour. My house is just rocking. It sounds like a summer storm. Clara, yeah. When I grew up, we used to live there were at least 2 or 3 storms a year in the winter that we lived with hurricane lamps, the one fire inset chimney, and we all slept in the living room. And that was when all my ewes would lamb, and so I would be in the middle of a snowstorm in my barn trying to save baby lambs. We would have lambs in the kitchen, in the utility room, anywhere you could put them that they could stay warm. And my mother always said if there was a winter storm, that was when every one of my lambs would lay down, and my ewes would lay down and lamb. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to check my fire, and then I'm going to go around the windows and do some video for y'all, just a little short thing so you can see what I'm dealing with. Gypsy, I know. I'm right below you. It's bad right now, isn't it? I'm literally just like almost directly south of Gypsy. Just throw a rock. About an hour. It is bad. You better count your chickens in the morning. They may have flown off or been carried off on the wind. Good grief. Okay. But I'm going to go and check my fire, and I need to probably put a... Oscar, what are you doing? Get over here. And double check everything, and then I'm going to do little videos out the window to show you how bad the wind is here. So, but I'm good. Just everybody in the way of the storm. If you were fixing to be hit by the line of the storm, the front end of it, the first hour and a half is very, very strong, very scary. Batten down your hatches, and if you got flags on your front porch, go get them, because God knows who's going to own mine after tonight. So, thank you. Yeah, we will be safe. Y'all be safe too. I thought a lot of people live east of me and north of me. Be prepared. It's good. It hit rough here. Almost put my goddamn fire out down my stovepipe, and it's still rocking my house. And this is a winter storm. It's just crazy. So, I remember, this is the one I remember, like, these were like sixth grade to sophomore year. We had bad storms like this every year here. So, it's reminded me of my childhood a lot right now. So if you're in the line of this, be prepared. The wind and the leading edge is what's going to get you and what's going to disorient you and what's going to cause you the problems. So get somewhere, get safe, and then after that first 30, 45 minutes to an hour goes through, you'll have a little bit of a break until it sustains with the wrap behind it and the snow and the wind, and then to stay at about a 25, 35 mile per hour gust constantly. That's what I'm dealing with right now. So be prepared. It looks like we are now in the snow wrap. So maybe if it's not blowing too bad, we can see the snow in the video. But I'm going to shut the live down, do some video. I'll throw up some really quick shorts for you, and you can see what I'm dealing with. And tomorrow, we'll have the aftermath of my front porch. But all my cats are safe. They're in the roof of the warm house where they have a cubby built that's fully insulated. And it stays warm enough that none of my veggies and stuff, jars, crack, or anything. It stays a constant temperature. So my cats are good. All my outside animals, my kitty cats, they're fine. And Oscar's in here just going, what the crap? So we're all good. I hate this wind. I hate wind. I hate wind more than anything. I've been in a couple of tornadoes in my life, and I didn't enjoy it. So wind is not my favorite thing. I'm more worried about David coming home here in a little bit in this wind. He's not far from home, thank God, but it still is, I worry about him. And he had to take coveralls and like his whole trapper's garb to put on to come home, because it was going to be -3 by the time he comes home. So I'm starting to feel the chill set in. I can tell that the house temperature is dropping rapidly now, but I can still feel the heat from my fire, so I'm all good. I'm just going to move closer to the wood stove and watch a Christmas movie until the electricity might go. I hope it doesn't, but I'm just here to tell you I feel like it's going to. And me and Oscar are just going to try to watch a Christmas movie and enjoy the wood fire and not pay attention to what's dancing across my front porch. Thank goodness I don't have any trees close to my house that I need to worry about. Do y'all hear that? Well, Clara, around here, they spin up so quick. We never know when they're going to drop. Do y'all hear that? But it is either little tiny tornadoes that don't do anything, or the big mambo jambas that when they do land on the plateau, they just dig a furrow and take out everything. Okay, it's really getting bad now, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to shut down and do quick videos for you, because I want you to see this. Love you and stay safe. If you're having this move through, be prepared. It's a monster, and I'll check on you in the morning. Okay, guys, have a good night. Be safe, stay warm, and do not think this is just a little storm. It'll get you. It's a doozy. Y'all be safe. Bye, guys.